This guy, right, is on the phone to this old woman, pressure sells her into buying a load of bogus fire alarm shit, hangs up the phone, just looks straight at this guy who's wearing a hidden camera and goes, she'd take it right up the arse.
Welcome, one and all, men and women and everything in between or outside. We don't discriminate here. To the Goats Podcast, the show where we aim to find the very best in every single category that you can record. I'm joined today by my good friends Michael and Sebek. Michael, how are you doing?
I'm not too bad. I'm very good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very, very good. At the moment, I think the neighbours downstairs are making a bit of a ruckus. They're building shit, putting shelves up, so apologies if you can hear any banging or sawing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, or just ploughing, you know how it is. How about yourself, Sebek? How about yourself?
I'm doing all right. I had a curry last night, lovingly prepared for me by my gorgeous partner, and my arse is like a dragon's nostril right now. Apart from that, I'm doing all right.
Spicy curry, then.
Do you know what? Didn't seem that spicy when I had it, but today I've been all of a flutter.
Now you're sort of regurgitating it out of your ass.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Ooh.
Some of the things I've been working from home today, and honestly, it was like a gas chamber in here.
Good job you were working from home.
Before we start, I've got an update for you guys.
Wow, this is unplanned.
Yeah, I know. Well, here's the thing. So, obviously, I don't know if you don't already follow our podcast on Instagram. _goats_. You don't?
I did.
The _goats_pod. We did a little post where I spent a disastrously long amount of time putting the face of Michelangelo on one of the crooks from Rogue Traders and had Matt Allwhite or Albright, I can't remember which one it is, hand him a check for the shoddy roofing he'd done.
It was brilliant.
Big Matt actually viewed our Instagram story, so that was pretty big. Sent him a message asking him if he wanted to be on the poddy. Absolutely ghosted us, but that's fine. But from there, I was like, I started Googling Rogue Traders. I was like, who are the two guys on Rogue Traders? Because I wanted to tag them in the Instagram post. And I've got two questions for you. Well, two nuggets of information, I guess. Firstly, obviously there's Matt.
Yeah.
Big Matt.
He's the main fella. Yeah.
The other guy who rides the motorbike, I just assumed he was some bloke who could ride a motorbike. I didn't realise he had like an actual thing. According to his bio, he's a private investigator.
Oh, that makes a bit more sense now.
It does. I just thought he was some like Spanish guy, sort of Latin American guy or Latin guy. They just got to ride a motorbike, but that isn't the case. Something I also found, right, in 2012, he was jailed. This is Dan Petito. Dan Petito.
Yeah.
Was jailed for 12 weeks for benefit fraud.
Oh, no.
Yeah, benefit fraud totaling more than £24,000.
What a numpty. Because he's on Rogue Traders as well.
He's on Rogue Traders. The man's on Rogue Traders.
You'll have Matt round his house.
Do you reckon they got Matt to hand him the sentence?
Yeah.
Is it bad? I've never heard of Rogue Traders.
What? I did a whole bit.
Yeah, I just sort of nodded and smiled during that bit.
Oh, Rogue Traders was a classic.
Michael, explain Rogue Traders.
Yeah, what is it?
It was this thing. It was on the BBC, wasn't it? I think it was like
it was on Watchdog.
Yeah, Watchdog. It was part of one show for a bit or something like that. Basically, if you had like a shoddy workman in, he was like telling you, oh, your bathroom, it's going to cost this much, and it ended up costing like double or triple, whatever like that. They would try and catch him out, so they would set up like, it's usually an old woman, they'd like set up like fake houses. They get some old woman in who's like an actor, and she'd be like pretending like, oh, I don't know about plumbing, and the bloke would be like, oh, I've got one here, and he'd be like, oh, it's gonna cost you £1 million, love. And like, but secretly they're like filming the whole thing, and then Matt and this Dan fella jump out of a wardrobe like, oi, Gary, we've caught you, ripping off this old woman, and he'd like do one. He's proper like, oh shit, son. He'd leg it, and they just chase him down.
But they wouldn't like chase him. It wasn't like a police chase. They just
they would like chase him out of the garden as far as they like legally could. Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
It was brilliant.
It was kind of like the opposite of To Catch a Predator then, where they used like more elderly people rather than, someone who's a minor to try and catch these fuckers out.
Yeah, it was To Catch a Predator, but with shoddy builders.
Yeah. I've never heard rogue traders likened to Catch a Predator.
There was at least a couple of guys who could have been on both.
Probably, yeah, probably. But that's mad that he's done that.
No, it's ridiculous. Do you know what? I was actually looking. So to find that clip, I had to go through YouTube and trawl through episodes on YouTube of rogue traders to find one that could sort of most closely fitted. And I saw one, right, where these guys who fitted basically really shitty security and safety systems, those things where if you've got an elderly relative who you don't actually want to be a part of their life but you feel like you should look after them, so you just spunk a boatload of money on a special button they can press as they fall down the stairs, rather than just popping in and saying hi. Sorry, that's really shady to me.
Yeah, they're quite genuine, them things.
But you know what I mean?
I know the devices you're talking about, yeah.
They installed them, right? And they installed fire alarms and stuff like that. So it's like an all-in-one, make sure your nan doesn't burn to death kind of package. And they got some bad reviews. So they set up a guy to go in and try and get the latest job. And so he does a trial shift there.
Oh, I've seen these before, yeah.
And this guy, right, is on the phone to this old woman, pressure sells her into buying a load of bogus fire alarm shit, hangs up the phone, just looks straight at this guy who's wearing a hidden camera and goes, she'd take it right up the arse. She's 87.
Oh my god, the hero we don't deserve, but the hero we need.
Yeah.
That is good. That is gold.
Yeah,
damn.
That's my rogue traders update.
Wow, how do we move on from that statement to our topic today, Vinny? Over to you, my friend.
Yeah, I don't know if I could find a link.
As if by magic.
Speaking of magic, on today's episode, we will be discussing magicians. That's right. Now, magicians have existed all throughout history and have been both seen in positive and negative lights. And whether they be powerful conjurers of foul magics, a shiesty con artist looking to make a quick buck, or an underpaid 40-year-old divorcee you hire for your kid's birthday party, magicians are unfortunately here to stay. Today, I have a burning question. A question that's kept me up in the dead of night for some time now. Who is the greatest magician of all time? Now, thankfully, I could just let my two friends here do all the thinking for me today. So, without further ado, let's hear your pick of the week, Sebek.
With pleasure. So, obviously, weirdly, and I genuinely mean this straight up, I mean this honest to fucking God, this is the most nervous I've been for any of these. Because I feel like the magical community, not like the Harry Potter lot, but magic lovers are really fucking intense. And if people are into magic, they have really strong opinions. And there's people you just you have to lord above everyone else and you have to be these guys are the best, right?
Yeah.
This is the one where I felt the most pressure to pick the right answer. To pick the guy who everyone, or the girl who everyone would be that's the right one. That's the proper, that's the intellectual thing to say. And it was just causing me all this anxiety. And you both know I'm quite an anxious person as it is. I was sweating, oh my God, I really don't want to pick the wrong guy. And basically.
Are you talking about
me? Yeah, I am
me?
talking about people like you, yeah.
What do you mean people like you?
Because I like magic.
Yeah, and if I say the wrong person, you're going to get all upset on you.
Well, if you don't say the person I've said, well, I suppose so. What are you saying? That people who like magic and were into sort of doing magic and trying to be a magician and that, they're super intense, opinionated.
Yeah, it's like walking into a Star Wars convention and saying that you like Jar Jar Binks. It's going to end badly. Do you know what I mean?
Or comparing it to Star Trek.
Yeah, exactly. Being I love Picard. And everyone's you fucking idiot! Ah! That's...
I don't know whether to be. I don't know whether you're complimenting me or offending me. I'm a bit conflicted.
But basically, correct me if I'm wrong, Michael, as a magic lover, and Vinny as Vinny, do you like magic? Are you a magic man?
I dabble in watching some on YouTube when I'm stoned.
This is, I don't mean to already be intense and opinionated, but not Harry Potter. Do
Why
you know
not
what
Harry
I mean?
Potter?
Well, do you know what? Harry Potter, you know, I'm not talking about Harry Potter, I'm talking about like clever card tricks and that.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, so we're already exactly in the zone that I thought we were going to be in here. So I came to the conclusion that I think the two people that everyone lords above everyone else. Do you know what? I'm just thinking back to 2 seconds ago when I couldn't think of a word that encompassed both men and women and people in between. And I was like, guys and girls, and it's just people. I was like,
yeah. The world would be a better place if we refer to people as people, wouldn't
yeah,
it?
exactly. It probably would if we just let it go and just said people. Anyway, I thought about the two people who I think everyone is like, it has to be one of these two. And I think those two are David Blaine and Harry Houdini. I think if you don't say one of those two, people are going to be like, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah. There's a few others.
There
in
is
that
others.
Mix as well,
there is
though.
others like your kind of vaudeville style guys back in the day who did the like
David Copperfield, Paul Daniels.
Those guys, Uri Geller.
Uri Geller?
Uri Geller's a magician.
Yeah, he bends spoons apparently.
Anyway, and it was funny because like I said, I was so nervous about this one, and I found myself avoiding writing the script, which I never do because I'm so excited to do these episodes. And I left it so last minute, like I was still writing it today. And I was like, I literally wrote bits of it in my lunch break and a little bit in the hour before we started. And I was like, Jesus, and I realized the reason I've been putting it off is because I didn't believe that either of those two guys are the GOAT.
Right.
And I realised I don't think that they are. And I think they're two amazing performers. And this is going to ruffle some feathers. And I think it might ruffle your feathers, Michael.
Mm.
But I don't think either of them is actually a magician.
Well, I mean, they are. Like, David Blaine is a magician. He sort of made street magic cool and fun for lots of people, sparked a lot of people's careers. Like Dynamo wouldn't exist without David Blaine, and David Blaine also did some absolutely nuts stunts.
He was more of a stuntman, though.
I'm coming to this. He was a stuntman. So here's my deal, right?
Yeah.
Harry Houdini, incredible. Please, magicians, don't come for me and like pop up out of a hat and stab me or something. Like, I don't do some magical murder, like put a rabbit out my arsehole and then it like eats me or something. But he started out trying magic tricks and they didn't work for him. And he then turned to escape artistry. Whichever way you look at it, that's not magic.
That's you are fair enough to say that he is mostly remembered as an escape artist.
He's an escape artist, and I'm not saying that it's not impressive. Although I am saying if you look at it from a certain perspective, it's not that impressive. Now, let me just go into that, because I did some big thinking about this. If you look at it naively, if you look at escape artistry naively, you say this guy is in handcuffs or he's locked in a safe or is Chinese torture trap or he's wrapped in a rope and he has a skill set that he uses to then escape. And that isn't magic, that's lockpicking and wriggling. And I'm not saying it's not super impressive, but I've watched the videos and it is just him wriggling on the floor. And it's not otherworldly, it doesn't make you believe in the supernatural. It's just a guy wriggling.
Are there actual videos of Houdini performing?
Yeah, like early film, like where he's like wrapped in a rope and he basically just wriggles on the floor until he gets free. And I'm not saying that's not really impressive, I'm just saying it's not magic. And I think if you look at it not naively, and look at it for what it is, it's a guy handing you, as the audience, like say you're the guy on stage, or you're being handed it metaphorically, he's handing you his own handcuffs, or getting in a safe he designed. And then it's not impressive at all, because I watched this guy, and I forget his name, but he was breaking down magic tricks, and he was like, the moment a magician hands you their own cuffs, the magic trick is over.
Yeah.
It's the equivalent of saying I can walk around any house blindfolded as long as I can pick my own house. Like, it's no longer impressive because you know how to get out. And like, I know what people are going to say, and I really respect Houdini, but like, everyone's like, oh, he designed these really dangerous things. But no, he designed them. Like, there's that famous thing where he's like, he wouldn't do anything more dangerous than sitting in his living room chair. Like, the stunt is over before it even begins because it's not really dangerous.
It was rigged from the start.
Yeah, like it's rigged from the start. Like if you get arrested by a cop on the street and manage to break 3 of the handcuffs, break out of prison and run away, that's a hell of a fucking escape. But if you put yourself in your own handcuffs, I'm sorry, that's not magic. That's just using a prop that you've designed. And I'm not taking away from it. I think it was incredible performance. I think it inspired a lot of amazing people. And he was a true performer. Like, he gripped the crowd, and the things he did were incredible. Like, and he was incredibly fit, and he could really hold his breath for fucking ages. And like, it isn't easy to break out of even your own handcuffs. Like, it's not a joke, but I don't think that he's a magician, and I don't think it gives me that like spellbinding, like this is like, that could be real magic. Like, that's what I feel like magic is supposed to do to you. You go like, that could have been real. Like, how the fuck did he actually do that? Whereas I just go like, oh, he broke out of handcuffs. Like, that's how he did it. It's cool, but it's not like, it doesn't seem otherworldly. Does that make sense?
What about that time where the Daily Mirror commissioned a blacksmith in Birmingham to create a set of impossible to escape handcuffs that took 5 years to make, and he escaped from those live on stage in London?
But that's the thing. But
that happened. That is like...
It happened, right?
Yeah, that's impressive.
No, it's not, because what I'm saying is he said himself he wouldn't do anything that was more difficult than sitting in his own chair. Like, whatever had happened to allow him to get out of those handcuffs, and I don't mean to like break the illusion, had happened before he got on stage. I'm sorry.
I know what you mean. So then that's how he's selling that to the audience, but really he would have been involved in the design or something.
There's no way, like, unless he's actually magic, which he obviously isn't because it's not real, that trick took place before he got on the stage.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
And I don't mean to shit on Houdini, because like, that's a fucking terrifying thing to do.
That's a big shit.
It's a big shit, and I don't mean to diss him, because I think he was incredible, and I think he was an incredible performer. But like, he's not my goat magician, and I feel like I've wasted quite a lot of time just prefacing that, because I'm so nervous that people are going to like kick off.
So what you're saying is, for your goat magician so far, 15 minutes into your pick,
it's not Houdini.
You've assured us that it's not Houdini. Okay.
Exactly. And it's also not David Blaine. The man's a fucking maniac and an incredible endurance artist. Like, he sat in that box for 44 days with no food. He stood on that pole for 35 hours.
And those weren't tricks. Those weren't tricks. That was just him.
Again, it's not a trick. It's just a guy doing something that you previously thought wasn't possible, but he's now proved to you it is. You don't go, oh, he must be actually magic. You just go, oh, he must be fucking insane.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't think it's magic. His card tricks were good, right? And the thing where he puts the frogs in his stomach, again, fucking insane, right? But I don't believe he has the best. I think he started the craze of street magic, but I don't actually think
he was the best at it.
I don't think he's in a league of his own. I think he's up there. I think he's one of the greats.
That's fair enough.
But I don't actually think his tricks are any better than the likes of like Penn and Teller, or Chris Angel did incredible street magic, and yet again he was stood on the shoulders of David Blaine. I'm not saying he wasn't, but I don't think it was like the next level.
I would agree with that. Like, David Blaine's best stuff is definitely not his street magic. There are better street magicians out there.
Exactly.
He started a movement, and without David Blaine doing that sort of stuff, there probably wouldn't be those other more impressive street magicians.
It's like Dizzy Rascal, you know? I don't think he's the best grime artist out there, but he definitely started it. So you can't take that away from him. But like, I wouldn't crown him as the GOAT. Anyway.
Damn. Woo, yeah, like you said, you're coming in swinging.
I'm coming in swinging, right? So let me get to my point, which is like, you know, I'm aware I've been going for like 10 minutes now and I haven't fucking said who it is.
I'm aware, yes.
So once I'd realised that I didn't think the GOAT was David Blaine or Harry Houdini, I had to think about who I thought it was. And like, I've named a few already. And I think for me, it was someone who did something that it wasn't an endurance stunt. It wasn't something that you saw them do it and you thought, oh God, I didn't know the human body could do that. It's something that physically looks impossible. And so for that like brief second, you go like, Jesus, like what? Like, I can't even begin to imagine how that happened. Like, I've named a few already, like Penn and Teller, iconic. Like that upside down thing they did on fucking Saturday Night Live. I don't know if you've seen it, but they do like a whole magic routine upside down, like they're hanging from the ceiling. It's insane.
The magic bullet one is great as well.
Like the fish thing where he does the fish into the water.
Yeah.
Just ridiculous. Chris Angel, again, like ridiculous and kind of gory, like when he's pulling the razor blade out of his mouth and like...
He's heavy metal. He's like the heavy metal.
Yeah.
Wasn't it found out that Chris Angel was just a massive fraud and like he just used paid actors and it was all just
did he?
effects? Yeah.
There was something like that for one of his tricks that he did, where he like pretended to kill himself or did some bodily harm thing. Yeah, I vaguely remember the one you're talking about, Vinny. That one was found out.
See, that doesn't surprise me because he was at a point where it was like it's so unrealistic that it breaks the illusion. Because you're like, well, he clearly hasn't fucking cut his own neck open. Like he just hasn't. So like the illusion's smashed because
it's too preposterous.
Exactly. And then I thought, actually, there's a guy called John van de Putte. I don't know how, I mean, he's English, but it looks like a Dutch sounding name, but he performs as Piff the Magic Dragon. I don't know if you've seen him.
Oh, yeah. Piff the Magic Dragon. He's brilliant. He's like a comedy artist as well.
He does his tricks dressed as a dragon in a glittery dragon outfit, and it's hilarious.
Is he like a furry?
Kind of, yeah, maybe he is. He's like a furry magician.
No, he's not. He's cool.
That's a niche audience.
It's a niche audience that I'm a part of.
He's funny, this guy. No, Piff the Magic Dragon is wicked. He's well funny.
No, he's really funny, and his tricks, like, he uses comedy.
His tricks are really good, yeah.
He uses comedy to, like, deflect from the trick, and then before you know it, he's done something that's, like, actually really impressive. And he does it in this, like, really nonchalant, like, he has this, like, kind of monotone way of talking, like, I'm Piff the Magic Dragon. I'm here to do some magic. And it's, like, and, like, before you know it, you've kind of bought into this thing. Anyway.
Ultimate misdirection.
But I don't think it's any of those guys.
Okay, I'm interested.
Who do you think it is then, Sebek?
I'm glad you asked, Vinny. It's funny enough that you would bring that up because I've actually written quite a lot about it. The person...
As is the point of this discussion.
We're about 30 minutes into recording. We've yet to find out either of your picks.
The person who got me into magic and who I think is the absolute GOAT magician of our generation, and for me, I'm saying that to all you fucking magicians who are going to jump out my wardrobe tomorrow and stab me in the fucking eyes with a disappearing pen or something. For me. Just for me.
I love that you think all these magicians are just like raging. They're out for blood if you say David Blaine shit.
Stab me and then disappear like a puff of smoke or just leave like a rabbit on the scene of the crime.
Well, Seb, we're not finding out who's the best musician for you personally. We're finding out who's the greatest magician of all time. So,
well, exactly. So why are you putting my head back on the chopping block? I took it off, and then you just put it back on again. You're like, now you are saying that, you little fucking shit. Don't wriggle out of this one. You are right, though. Like, when we came into this, we were like, we're definitive. We ain't no pussy holes. And I've pussied out so quickly when it came to magicians. Maybe I'm scared of magicians.
Yeah, dude, I think you've got this really weird fear of magicians. It really seems genuine, like you're terrified of magicians jumping you.
No, genuine. I was brought up very spiritually. Like, my upbringing was like, spiritual stuff is real. Someone can fucking put a hex on you, kind of thing. Like, I know it's funny, but that is true. So, like, maybe that's where it comes from. I don't know.
Okay, maybe, yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Fucking hell.
Who is it?
I'm bluffing because I'm still nervous. The person who I think is the greatest magician of all time is Stephen Frayne, a.k.a. Dynamo.
Oh, that is a spicy one.
I know.
I feel like that's very spicy. Within the magician community, I know why you're terrified.
I know
because he is great, but within the magical community, he has got his critics.
I know.
And they're very outwardly spoken.
Very outwardly spoken.
And they have been known to jump people and murder them.
Out of closets and then just vanish into thin air. Cops just can't find them without a trace.
Yeah, exactly. So, present.
But yeah, so obviously I'm going to keep it relatively short because I've been going for 20 minutes already. Dynamo was born in 1982 in Bradford in the UK, which is like sort of in the Midlands area, in a rough as fuck part of Bradford. And Bradford's not exactly Oxford at the best of times. And he got into magic because his granddad showed him a trick where he would make the school bullies think he was like unnaturally heavy. Like they try and push him and they couldn't push him over. Because he was bullied at school because he's incredibly small. And it turned out he's later diagnosed with Crohn's disease, which is like a kind of bowel disease that affects your intestines. And at 17, he actually had to have part of his intestine removed. Anyway.
That was a crazy trick. Was that his first big trick?
He made his intestines disappear.
Disappear!
It didn't stop his magical ambitions. And he trained, he was really into magic. I think I listened to him on Off Menu, and like I'm pretty sure he couldn't go out that much, like because he was quite like I don't want to say like sickly because that sounds mean, but like he just obviously like he had really bad Crohn's disease, so he was indoors a lot, he was off school sick a lot, and he just got like really into like sleight of hand, card trick magic, like proper illusions, and that was his whole bag, and it was like his whole existence was just to do magic. And anyway, he got his like first break. He appeared on Richard and Judy, which is the most 2002 thing I've ever heard.
Oh God, yeah, that is.
And he like managed to get like a little bit on their show, and like through that he got like a little bit of TV work, and then it kind of petered out. He almost was going somewhere, but he just like wasn't quite. And then he managed to get like a charity grant because he was like a sort of an underprivileged youth from Bradford. He got himself this grant and he bought some camera gear, and him and his mate created what they called a magical mixtape. And I just think it's the coolest idea. They basically go like around London, going to wherever like musicians or like celebrities were doing gigs, and he would impress the door staff, and then he'd impress their tour manager with his magic, and then they would let him in to do tricks in the dressing rooms for celebrities. And I just think that's like...
It's a banging idea.
It's a banging idea, and it's proper like grassroots. Like, he didn't have it handed to him on a plate. Like, yeah, obviously he got this grant, but that was because he was like poor as fucking from Bradford, so let's not hold that against him too much. And like, he was like, what am I going to do? I'm just going to try really hard and like just try and work my way up. And that's what he did. And like within a year, he got footage with Coldplay, Gwyneth Paltrow, and friend of the show, Snoop Doggy Dogg, right?
Big up, Big Snoop.
Big up, Big Snoop. Thanks for all the support.
Thanks for the great concert back in 2014.
Yeah,
Thanks,
Vinny
mate.
loved it.
It was actually really good. If you missed that, wow.
You'd be fucking bummed.
Yeah, if you missed that, there's no point ever going to a musical show ever again. You missed out on the
There's
best
no
thing
point
in your life.
living at that point.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. Just disappear in a puff of smoke and playing cards. But anyway, things really kicked off when he started uploading stuff to YouTube, like early YouTube, like 2007, 2008, back in the day YouTube. And I remember watching this stuff because I was a nerd. I didn't have like much to do. I'd go to my dad's house on a weekend and I just watch YouTube all night, and it blew my fucking mind. And he was like just this fucking little roadman from Bradford in a hoodie and jeans and like a snapback doing card tricks with fucking Gwyneth Paltrow. Like, it was insane. And, like, I don't mean to, like, cut to the chase, but the rest is history. He had a massive TV show called Magician Impossible where he showed off, like, proper, amazing, down-to-earth, like, card magic and street magic. And then he had mixed with, like, proper illusion stunts. Like, I remember he did that stunt where he walked across the water outside the River Thames. And like, I remember coming to school and everyone was watching on YouTube, and it was, like, the big talk of the school, like, oh, my God. Like, this guy walked across water, and like, again, it wasn't endurance, it wasn't escaping, it was doing something that like obviously couldn't be done, but like, how?
Yeah, that's the thing with magic, and especially close-up magic. You know it's a trick. He did not really put an iPhone into a glass bottle, but it is in there, so how the fuck did it do it? Like, that's the thing with it, is it's impossible, but you know it is possible.
Exactly.
But now you're doubting your own sanity because you're like, I know that this is impossible. But the fact that you've got the doubt and you can't say how or why makes it real magic. That's what I would say. That's real
exactly.
magic.
And it's funny you should say that, like, because there's a moment, and I've heard it in a couple of interviews where he like talks about why he loves magic and like what he aims to do with his magic. And he says like there's a moment just after he's done a trick, before people have time to like go back and overanalyze and play it back on YouTube, where they look him in the eye and you can see that there's like a little bit of doubt, like maybe like, how did he do that? Like, is this guy actually magic?
Yeah, that's it. That is what makes magic magical.
Exactly.
In that sense, because it is not real, but how? And then you're doubting yourself, but I can't explain it. So what is it? And then that's where you get to it.
And exactly, and I feel like that's what he did for me. Like, I remember as a kid, like, and as a teenager, watching it and being like, what the fuck? And it's also funny you mentioned the iPhone thing, because like there was that period in like the late sort of early 2010s. It was all like iPhones and everyone wanted to be in like California, like doing like, it felt like everything was suddenly so modern, and like he did tricks with like iconically modern things. Does that make sense? Or does that sound weird?
Yeah. No, it does. He didn't like whack out a brass ring from like 1920.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He just said like, "Oh yeah, mate, give us your brand new iPhone and I'll pop it in this glass."
Exactly
bowl.
that. Exactly like the iPhone thing. Like he was doing stuff with iPhones and he was doing stuff with like people's Apple Watches and their fucking
And like Rolexes. And
exactly.
Yeah.
It was so cool. And like it's one thing to break up some watch that like is some old thing you just pulled out of a chazza shop, but like to break up like some fucking rich guy's Rolex and then be like, and now I'm gonna put it back together again. Like that was
it's mental.
It was mental and it really like hooked me. That's for me what magic is about, and I think for me he is the antithesis of what I feel like magic is for me, and that's all I can give is like he makes me feel the most wonder when he does a trick out of any magician I've ever watched. And like he's one of the guys who unfortunately he did stop touring in like 2015. I think he's starting to come back, but he really struggled with Crohn's for a while.
Yeah, he has had a huge layoff.
He got arthritis at one point, didn't he?
He did, yeah. He got poisoned by some uncooked chicken from a takeaway.
From KFC, yeah.
And it legitimately
savage.
It nearly killed him. Like he nearly died. Imagine food poisoning and then you have Crohn's disease. He nearly fucking died. And like Vinny said, like he got arthritis, which doesn't help when you're doing sleight of hand.
Fuck you, KFC.
Fuck you, KFC. If you ever try and sponsor this show, we'll say fuck you from Dynamo. And it will fucking pop up out your bargain bucket and stab you in the eyes.
But please sponsor the show.
Please give us some money. But yeah, he started to come back a little bit. Like he did some stuff in 2020 and I heard him on some podcasts and I think he's like starting to get back into it. Yeah, for me, I'll finish it up by saying like he doesn't do survival stunts. He doesn't do escape artistry. He does proper grassroots illusions that you can imagine seeing it day to day. And it's just a proper head fuck. And it's not gross and it's not like survival porn watching some guy starve himself to death. And he just seems like...
I've never heard of it as survival porn.
But that's what it is.
That is a great saying.
You're like, fucking, let's see if David Blaine can like fucking not eat.
Let's see if he dies.
Yeah, exactly. It's weird.
It is weird.
And he's just like a roadman from Bradford and he seems like a really nice guy and he supports all his mates with it like financially and he just seems like he's still in with all his day ones and he's not too wrapped up in all the fame shit. David Blaine. And I think for me, he'll always be the guy I think of when I think of magic. And so that's why it's Dynamo for me.
Wow.
Fair play.
That is a strong case.
I don't think the magical community will jump you and kill you. I think that you put that very eloquently and very well, Seb.
Thank you very much.
I'm talking as a member of the Magic Circle. Let me just ask the boys. Should we let them off, boys? Yeah, no problem. No rabbits are going to be coming out your arsehole, mate. Yeah, you're all good. No problem.
You say the Magic Circle. That's just brought back a memory of whose book was it you were reading when we were like 12 and like when you were really into magic, Michael? And he was talking about there was a magic inner circle of like all these like wizards or whatever who are like at the top of the game and they know all the tricks and you know everyone. If you do a trick, you have to like tell the Magic Circle how you've done it and all this sort of stuff.
You mean the Magic Circle, the real entity?
What do you mean, the real entity?
No, the Magic Circle's real.
The Magic Circle is real. Yeah, to be Dynamo and David Blaine, they are members of the Magic Circle. They do perform their tricks to the Magic Circle higher-ups, and they are all approved, and everyone knows how it's all done. Yeah, that's a real thing. The Magic Circle is real.
What is it, like a cult?
It's not a cult. It's like an organization. It's like a company.
It's a religion.
No.
It's just like a bureaucratic thing that's got a cool name. Like it's just
got a cool name. It may as well just be called like Magicians Incorporated. They all get together and tell each other how they do all their tricks and all like sort of coexist and it's all great and you get accredited by the Magic Circle as a professional magician, etc.
Because what I'm imagining in my head is like this stonemason-esque like circle in the woods where there's like hexagrams everywhere and everyone's like in cloaks and no one actually knows who each other are. Like it's all about like keep your identity completely sealed, you know, for protection reasons, and you all like chant and summon Satan and then do some card tricks to Satan and then he's, you know, if he likes or not.
No, it's a real thing. I think they've got an office in London. It's just a normal thing. It's just normal. It's fine.
It's like getting your fishing license from the post office. Like, it's not a big thing.
Oh, that's really boring. That's really,
I mean, they probably do wear like cloaks at Christmas or something.
I think they do have a tier system in the sense that I don't know, David Copperfield, let's say, he's been a professional magician for like 40 years. He would be like one of the executive members of the Magic Circle. He'd be like a grand wizard, let's say. But Dynamo's like a new entry. He'd be like an apprentice mage. Do you know what I mean? And they all like get shit off each other like that. There is a hierarchy within the Magic Circle.
A ranking system. It's like
I believe that is true. Yeah.
Wow, you've put forward a very strong case, I will have to say, Sebek. Yeah, I used to really like Dynamo as a kid, to be honest. I remember he was absolutely he was the biggest thing in England growing up in, late noughties, early teenies?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he was huge. I remember maybe my parents really loved him, like Dad especially. We'd all gather around and watch the latest Dynamo episode. Yeah, it would just be jaws on the floor, fucking... Yeah.
So you're saying your dad, Big Don, I hope he doesn't mind me saying his real name, was impressed by Dynamo.
Yeah, my dad's a big fan. Big Don, sorry. Big Don is a big fan of Dynamo.
Fucking
yeah.
hell. Well, I may as well not speak. He must be the GOAT because your dad's very hard to impress. He's not impressed by anything I do, and he's certainly not impressed by anything you do. And that is the truth.
That is unfortunately the truth.
No, Billy, I find your bong smoking accounting and occasional podcasting very impressive. I don't know why he wouldn't.
Oh, shout out Big Don. He's definitely not listening. He won't be impressed with this.
He's not got 45 minutes into this dribble. There's no way.
But yeah, you've put forward a strong case, Sebek, and I am very much eagerly waiting what Michael has to say as his counter case.
Well, I think it's been established, I was quite big into magic in my teenage years. My aspiration was to become a magician, actually, for a long time. I still can do the odd card trick now, but I used to know quite a few absolute bangers. And a little bit like Dynamo, once upon a time there was a period where I did rope Vinny, our very own, into being my cameraman to film a short Streets Magic compilation, didn't I?
Yep, it was in Cornwall, family holiday.
I did impress 2 kids outside the arcade, another bloke who was actually quite unimpressed, but I did quite heavily impress a bunch of drinkers on the beach sat around a fire. They chose a card completely at random through their own free will. They burnt that card on their fire. I then produced it from my mouth. It was my best trick ever. But we're not here to talk about me.
Do you have the footage of that? I really want to see that.
I doubt it. I wish I did. It was good.
Put it on Instagram.
It was genuinely good. It was really good.
Yeah.
If we do a live tour, if we do a live show,
if we ever do a live show, I'll do some. 100%. I still know one now that I showed my mate the other day. When we were at Butlins actually, and I showed it to him close up, as close as possible. I let him feel the cards. I showed it to him about 6 or 7 times. He was fuming because he still could work out how I was doing it. It's my special trick, and it is brilliant. Oh, you've seen it before. It's the one where when you hit the cards, your card appears.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm not the GOAT magician, not by any stretch. I did have a couple of people that I did consider, which I'm not going to even bother talking about because Seb's already dusted them off as shite. David Blaine, Harry Houdini, and Penn and Teller. You lot are shit. So says Sebek. Go and get him, boys. So I haven't gone with him.
Can you imagine if just halfway through this you just boom, and then as I die?
Hello, David Blaine. What are you doing here? Why have you got a massive knife?
You just hear hey man, I'm here to do some magic.
Have you ever seen that interview he did with Eamon Holmes on This Morning, where he's got an eye tattooed on his hand, and he just sits there the whole time in silence, just saying 2 or 3 words, and they literally have no idea what to do. It's one of the most awkward interviews ever.
Does he do any magic?
No. He just sits there in complete silence. He's there to talk about his new TV show. He sits there in complete silence, and they're like, "You're quite strange, aren't you?" And he just holds up his hand with an eye on it, and they're like, "Oh, the eye, what does that represent?" And he's like, "Mystery."
He's such a weird guy.
It's mental. It's really weird. But no, I haven't picked any of them. I did actually want to talk about Harry Houdini's Daily Mirror handcuff routine, but I mean, it was shit, so don't worry about it. No, what I have done, and this will surprise you, Seb, because you said that as a Magic fan myself, I would be raging at your pick, and I am so opinionated and intense, and you said I was a dickhead and all this stuff.
I stand by all of it.
Yeah. But who I've picked as the greatest magician of all time is somebody who is unquestionably magical, unquestionably mysterious, and unquestionably powerful.
Jesus.
No, it's not somebody made up like Jesus. I've chosen Gandalf.
The Grey.
Gandalf the Grey. The Grey Pilgrim, the travelling magician of Middle-earth.
Oh, God.
Okay.
He's a travelling wizard.
Well, yeah, I thought you were going to say, Gandalf's a wizard. Well, you're wrong, because listen to this definition. This is off of the Cambridge Dictionary definition. I'm not going to say what it's defining. A person who has magic powers in stories or who performs tricks for entertainment. Is that A, the definition of a wizard, or the definition of a magician?
It's a wizard.
Wrong. That is the Cambridge definition of a magician, and that is exactly what Gandalf is. Therefore, he is a magician.
I feel like Dynamite's got a lot to prove here because, like, he didn't fight the what's it called, the Balan.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about all of that. Right? Let's just go over who Gandalf is. For those of you who don't know, you might not be big into magic like us, and you might not know all of the magicians ever. You might not know Dynamo, David Blaine, or get Gandalf. So we'll go into who Gandalf is. Like I said, he was a traveling magician. This was ages ago, like bare time ago, right? He was a traveling magician. He mainly traveled around a place, region, area, country called Middle-earth.
Is that where Iraq is?
In Middle-earth, magic is quite...
They've had a lot of problems there recently, but they did actually used to be really civilized, but things have really got out of control.
Now, Middle-earth's not like Bradford. In Bradford, Dynamo can shine like as a magician because I'm pretty sure in Bradford there's not a lot of competition. However, in Middle-earth, there's quite a lot of competition. There's a lot of people vying to be a magician or who are magicians or magical. So Gandalf, he's got quite a lot of competition in Middle-earth. But Gandalf, he's the best. He's the best of the best out of all the magicians that have ever wandered Middle-earth. He is definitely the strongest. He's easily done the best tricks. I'm going to highlight a few of his specific illusions/tricks in this breakdown. He's easily the best magician that there's ever been in Middle-earth, therefore, ever. But, what's his sort of gear? What's his setup? What does he look like? Because he's quite, it was ages ago, so, he's not rocking around in jeans and a tracksuit or whatever, a bit like Dynamo. He doesn't have a pack of cards in his pocket. No, he wears a long grey robe. He's got a big long beard and a pointy hat. He does have a magic wand, however, but it is in the shape of a big wooden staff and a sword. But it is magical. It is it's fine. It's just like a magician's wand, Don't worry about that.
Isn't that a sex toy?
What?
A wand, like a magic wand.
It's like a big stick with a gem on the end.
A big vibrating stick.
Yeah, that's what mine looked like.
Yeah. Oh well, yeah, it's probably the same thing.
It definitely brought some magic to our life.
We're here all week, folks. Seinfeld baseline.
Now, what kind of stuff is Gandalf getting into? Well, like I said, he's a traveller. He's a travelling magician. He does parties. He does fireworks. He does the odd smoke trick. He can blow a boat out of a pipe, whatever. He can do smoke rings and wicked shit like that. He's done a few disappearing acts. He does a bit of illusions. He occasionally goes on sort of expeditions, sort of destroying all powerful magical rings and dragons and shit. But that doesn't besides the point. He's a bit of a collector of strange objects as well. A little bit like you said, like Dynamo, he's different. He doesn't collect those strange old and magical objects. He's like sort of iPhones and that. Gandalf is definitely a bit more old school. He's a bit more like magical rings of power and scrolls and stuff. Do you know what I mean? So,
Your classics.
Yeah, your classics, exactly.
Traditional, yeah.
Exactly, traditional. So we'll go through a few of his most popular tricks, shall we? His best work, just so you can get an idea of really how good a magician this guy was. He performed at somebody's 111th birthday, and what he did there was he set off a load of fireworks, but one of them that he set off at the end it came to life like a real dragon and flew around everybody and exploded into a huge ball. Now, that might not sound that impressive, but this was like before fireworks were even invented. And he's just done it all.
Before China, right?
As a huge illusion, exactly.
Which is funny, because right now, China's having quite a lot of influence in Middle-earth.
Yeah.
Otherwise known as Iraq.
They've been propping up quite a lot of Middle-earthian regimes recently. I think they were quite instrumental in the toppling of the Middle-earthian dictator Colonel Gaddafi.
Well, Gandalf definitely could cut Colonel Gaddafi's head off.
He had weapons of fucking, I don't know, mass destruction. I don't know. Fucking paint your own joke.
So, and after the dazzling firework display, he also assisted the birthday boy. I don't know why I struggled for that word so much then. I was going to say, like, host, but yeah, birthday boy, disappear, vanish into thin air, gone, not to be seen. There is footage of this. The crowd, they are loving it. They have lost their minds. They got no idea where he's gone. They're like, fucking hell, Gandalf, he's gone! It is brilliant. And this is like one of the first ever disappearing acts. People have never, ever seen this before. They can't believe it. You're talking about, like, magic for you is something that you know isn't real. You know it's impossible, but it's possible. You know there must be a trick, but because you can't explain how it's done, that's what makes it magic. Honestly, these lads, they know it's real magic. They're like, fucking hell, he's actually gone. They don't know any different.
But that wasn't Gandalf.
Huh?
That wasn't Gandalf that did that trick.
No, he assisted him with that trick. Yeah, I know, there was something about a ring and sort of like magical powers
I didn't think
like
he
that.
knew about the trick.
Well, yeah, he sort of did, didn't he? Because when Bilbo was his name, Bilbo was his name, reappeared, Gandalf was there like, I know how you done that. Give me that thing. Yeah, exactly.
He knew, but he didn't know he was going to do that. That was a complete
he didn't know he was going to, but he was the only one in the room who knew how he'd done it. So he was like, mate, I'm in the magic circle. Give me that fucking ring.
What ring is this again? What ring is this again?
What ring?
Yeah.
Just a ring. Just a magical... Just like any magical artifact that, you know, normal street magicians use today, I think. Just like a ring of power or something like that.
Just a run-as-you-mill ring of power.
All street magicians can't leave their house without their wallet, phone keys, cards, you know, fake cards, AirPods, and a magical item of great power.
Yeah, well, if you look at it, it looks just like a normal... Like, if I held that next to a, like, random gold wedding band, you could not tell the difference. Until the forces of evil draw you into it and then turn you mental, yeah.
Which is funny, because actually... It's funny because when a lot of people put on their wedding bands, they sort of disappear from your life.
Oh dear, yeah. We're taking shots at everybody today, even married people. Let's go. Anyway, so moving on from that, his next sort of trick or illusion, he had a bit of a wizard. He had a bit of a magician off with another magician of the area, a fella by the name of... His name sounds weird, but it's just because it's old. Saruman. They sort of met up at one of the Magic Circle offices, you know, like we were talking about, normal. And one of them was like, I'm going to be the leader of the Magic Circle, mate, you know. And Saruman was like, nah, no, you're not, mate. I'm definitely the leader. I've even got this other fella. He's going to get involved as well. He's a proper magician. He's got like a big, massive eye and stuff like that. Wait till you see it, mate. It's absolutely sick. Gandalf's like, no, I'm not having it.
Big eye.
Gandalf's like, I don't care about no eye. Look, I'm not having it. Give me that magical orb. Give me that magician prop orb, or I'm going to batter you. They get into a bit of a ruckus. But anyway, then Gandalf produces another huge illusion. He doesn't pull a rabbit out of a hat. He pulls a giant eagle out of the sky that flies him away. Poof! Like that. Disappears again.
Wow. If it wasn't you telling me this, I just wouldn't believe it. Because you're such a trustworthy person. That's crazy. I can't believe what I'm hearing. This real person did this. And it happened.
That's what I mean. If you had seen it, if you were one of the audience members of one of these tricks, you would be blown away. And like I said, there is recorded footage of this, so you can see it and verify it.
It's that kind of honesty that got you the nickname Mikey the...
Exactly. So there's a second huge trick. Now we're moving on to, this is in the middle of his story as a magician, but this is probably his biggest and best trick ever to date and will ever be. He will never do a better trick than this. So his next performance was on a charity expedition. Gandalf was a man of the people, bit like Make-A-Wish, he took a few people who were not quite as privileged as others, with a couple of helpers. He had a fella there helping him. I think his name was Aragon or something. He was fine. He was normal. He was
normal,
and Boromir as well. He was all right. But he took a guy who they took a few people. A guy who had a bit of a problem with his ears. And don't take the piss, because these are real people, all right? And it was a real charity expedition. There was a fella with funny ears. They took him along because he hadn't seen all this stuff. There was a shorter, older fella with a big beard. He was getting bullied for his height for ages as well. And then there was like 4 others. They were really small, and they had like massive feet. And the feet thing was a bit of a problem for like the rest of the people that sort of lived in Middle-earth. They were like really grossed out by these huge feet and stuff.
You would have struggled, to be fair, because you don't like feet.
Well, exactly, yeah. So he was like, Gandalf was like, you know what? I'll get all these lot together, sort of like a charity expedition, Fellowship of the Ring, whatever you want to call it. We'll go on a big walk, and I'll show you the sights and that. Anyway, it all went a bit wrong when they went into the Mines of Moria, or just a big cave. They were caving, they had their helmets on, they had their ropes, they were all right, okay? It was all fine, it was all above board, paperwork signed, everything else, okay? They get to a really narrow bit, there's a really small bridge, and they're all like, oh, Gandalf, this bit's a bit tricky. And he's like, oh, don't worry, look, we'll just chuck the little ones over anyway. It'll be fine. Like, come on, Aragorn, give us a hand. They all get over the bridge, and then all of a sudden, there's like a big... how do I put this? There's a big thing happens. Big like illusion, big shadow, and everyone like shits themselves. They're like, whoa, what was that? And Gandalf's like, don't worry, I'll sort it out. This is all part of the trick, don't worry. He smashes his big magical wand on the floor, and the shadow disappears, and with the shadow disappearing, Gandalf, poof, disappears as well into thin air.
Wow.
Where's he gone? It's another trick.
That's crazy.
And now all the people in the charity expedition, I mean, they were a bit pissed off. Aragorn was like, right, now I've got to take the lead. But where the fuck has he gone? That was amazing.
Experience.
Yeah, that was incredible. Where's he gone?
Gandalf left him in the shit.
He's like doing it for his DV gold, taking some, underprivileged kids for a walk, and now he's been left on his own with no supervisor.
Well, exactly. And now he's gone. We've still got to get through these sort of not that very dangerous Mines of Moria. All fine, all fine. Paperwork signed. Where's Gandalf? What amazing trick. They were quite amazed and worried at the same time because they, like I said, disappearing illusions were sort of new at this time. Gandalf sort of invented them. So anyway, something happens. He disappears for 10 days. The details are completely irrelevant of what happened in those 10 days. That's not the important thing whatsoever.
Okay.
What do you mean, okay? You say that like I'm missing something.
No.
That's what happened.
I'm just, okay. I'm nodding my head. I'm saying, okay, I'm listening to what you're saying. I'm taking it in.
Okay. So he's gone for 10 days, no bother, it's all fine. All of a sudden, in the middle of the forest, 10 days later, Aragorn's having a walk. Neglectfully, he's lost a few of the smaller ones. And he's just going for a walk with the small old man and the funny ear fella. Okay? Because he's, without Gandalf there, like you said, he's almost, he doesn't know what he's doing. He's shit a brick. And unfortunately, he's got to go back to the office and tell them, I've lost the 4 smaller ones. I don't know where they're gone, but they're gone. He's wandering about the woods, all of a sudden, poof! Gandalf's here. He reappears, he's got new garbs, he's all in white, and he's got white hair.
Oh, I've seen where this goes. Does he have a white pointy hat as well?
No, he doesn't. He's ditched the hat. And he goes, hello, boys, did you miss me? Wink, wink. And they're like, fucking hell, Gandalf, that was a sick trick, mate. They were like, honestly, watch the footage. They cannot believe what they are seeing.
All of this was
the
filmed.
Best, greatest trick.
Was it like a
all
fly on
time.
the wall documentary kind of thing?
It's like a 4K,
sort of a documentary,
4K Blu-ray, 60 FPS with extended scenes.
Yeah, there's an uncut version of the documentary following. I think it's called something like Gandalf the Great Traveling Wizard or something like that.
Yep, that's it. You got it.
The thing is, Gandalf fully peaked at that point. Like, where does he go from that? He disappears for 10 days. He reappears. in all new clothes. It's like a quick change act, you know. He's ditched the old grey stuff. He's got a new sick white coat. His old magical staff, magic wand is gone. He's got a new modern white one. He's got the new iPhone 13 of magic wands. He's like, rah, check this out. Look at my hair. I've dyed it. How have I done all that in 10 days? You're going to be wondering.
10 days is quite a long time.
Well, I mean, he was doing other stuff in the 10 days.
If I went away for 10 days and all I come back with was a new wardrobe and a white painted stick,
yeah,
I don't think that's a magic trick.
It's a midlife crisis.
But he was quite busy in those 10 days doing all that stuff. Yeah.
Did he buy a sports car as well?
He did get a new horse, the fastest horse ever. So I guess.
And he ditched his missus and went out with his secretary.
Well, Gandalf, he ain't got time. He's never had a miss. He ain't got time for that. He's too busy entertaining the masses. So anyway, Gandalf goes on to a couple of other tricks on his horse. He shines light when there's only clouds. He shines light to like a huge concert. There's bare people at this thing. A bit like Glastonbury, right? They're watching one ugly fella run a big flaming ball down this muddy track, and they're all paying attention to that. And in the meantime, Gandalf comes up on a hill and he's like, check this out, boys. He just clears all the clouds. Like, everyone, you know, you're at a festival, rain's the last thing you want. Gandalf's like, no bother, is my next trick. Clouds are gone, big sunshine, happy days, they are buzzing. They all turn around, have a look at him and go, Gandalf, you legend! Start running towards him to give him a big hug. They can't believe it. They're like, great.
I'm guessing there's 4K extended footage of this event as well.
Yeah, there is, yeah. I think it was called the Festival of Helm's Deep or something like that. Can't remember. But it was banging. It was great tunes, lots of props, lots of pyrotechnics. Everyone was having a great time. So yeah, he's done heaps of stuff. But his last trick, his final trick, once he had accomplished his mission of entertaining all the masses and destroying that magical ring, the Ring of Power in Mount Doom.
Sorry, what was that?
Huh?
What was that? He kind of mutters a little bit there.
Oh, when he accomplished his mission of entertaining the masses and destroying the magical Ring of Power in Mount Doom.
Yeah, okay, I thought that's what you said, yeah.
Yeah. But that's not that important. He then took a couple of those little lads. Now, this is where we come full circle. The ones that Aragorn, you fucking idiot, lost. He took a couple of them and he was like, look, as a treat, we're going to do a big final trick. He disappeared, the three of them, on a big boat to heaven.
What?
Like that, gone.
What, he just
and they're all
murder-suicide?
No, he didn't kill him. No, he didn't kill him, no.
Triple murder-suicide.
And then the other little fellas, they're like crying like, oh, Gandalf, oh my god, you're gone. You know, this is such a good trick. I can't believe you've done this amazing disappearing act. Gandalf, you're so sick at magic and all this. They're all crying and Gandalf's like, listen, boys, I know you're sad. This is my last one. This is my last tour. There'll never be an encore. I'm gone. And then that was it. That's the end of Gandalf the Travelling Magician, I'm afraid.
Takes too many sleeping pills and then that was it.
He didn't die. He disappeared, himself and the little guy Frodo. They disappeared. It was a trick. Poof, they're gone. And they were all crying. They're all like, yeah, Gandalf, this is the best trick I've ever seen, mate. This is so sick. I'll miss you so much coming around my house and doing fireworks and sending us, persuading us to go on dangerous expeditions to get rid of magical rings of power and destroy evil black magic, Sauron, etc., etc. Like, I'll miss you so much, Gandalf. You're such a good traveling magician. You're the GOAT. That was it. Simple as.
See, what it sounds a bit like to me is that one little fella, I forget his name.
Frodo?
Frodo.
Foden?
Frodo, yeah.
Yeah, Frodo. He did this big old trip, comes back with really bad PTSD.
Yeah.
So he kills him in front of his mates?
No. Aragorn lost him. Gandalf treated him. He was like, look, Aragorn, you fucking idiot.
I'll treat you to the sweet embrace of death.
Yeah, he's not very smart. No, they don't die. They disappear. They ascend.
You said they went to heaven.
Yeah.
You did say that.
Yeah, they did go to heaven. It's sort of like heaven.
Heaven's a one-way trip.
It is a one-way trip, but they do have to stay in heaven, but they didn't.
That sounds a bit like they died.
But no one saw Gandalf kill him. They just got on a boat and disappeared. Gandalf didn't kill him. He treated him as compensation. Frodo filed a complaint because Aragorn, you fucking idiot, lost him. So Gandalf, when he reappeared, he was like, Aragorn, for fuck's sake, I was only gone for 10 days fighting the Balrog. I mean, changing my clothes and that, disappearing act. Sorry, I just... And, you should have lost... You've lost how many? 4 of them? Fucking hell. So Gandalf, he found 2 of them, and he eventually found the other 2, and he was like, look, guys, if you don't complain, I will definitely sack Aragorn and spank him on the bottom. You know, I'll send you off to heaven with me, and we'll all have a great time. Big poof, disappear and act, and your mates will love it. And they did, and that is what happened. That's the end.
Wow.
Right.
Where can we get this footage, by the way?
I've got it at my house. I've got 6 discs. It's extended. It's got all the tricks and behind the scenes how we did the tricks as well, which I'm not going to go into because it will definitely spoil the magic.
Of course.
Come around and watch it. I think it's about 14 hours or something like that of Gandalf's magic tricks.
Wow!
Yeah.
Isn't there a book version as well?
There is a book version, but it's quite hard to really see the reaction of the crowd in the book version.
Yeah, it's true. It's sort of, if very wordy.
Yeah. The book's not, it's not very joined up. There's all sorts of shit in there about elves and that, and it's not, you're like, what? I thought we were talking about Gandalf's magic tricks here. YouTube the footage, type in Gandalf's best tricks. You won't be disappointed.
Well, there it is. Wow, you've really taken us on a journey there, Michael.
No problem.
I applaud you for
Journey
that.
through the Middle East.
Journey through Afghanistan.
No.
The mountains to Iraq.
The hippie trail, the opium trail, the Silk Road. We did the Silk Road.
No, we did the Shire, Gondor, Rohan, and Mordor, you know. They're all very normal places, alright?
You're such a nerd.
He's a magician.
Right, okay, first of all, Gandalf is not a fucking magician.
He is.
He's an Astari, you fucking nerd.
Yeah.
So, you're wrong. You're so wrong, it's unbelievable. Like,
I mean, technically, yeah, he is basically like half god or whatever, yeah. But that doesn't mean he doesn't do magic tricks. Does it?
He sounds a bit like the guy from Mortal Kombat. Who's the thunder god from Mortal Kombat? Raiden. He sounds like Raiden.
Oh, I missed my last point, actually, sorry. Talking about Raiden, because Gandalf could definitely have Raiden in a fight. I just want to leave you with this, Vinny, before we talk any more about it. Who would win in a magic off or a fight or whatever you want to call it? Dynamo, I mean, let's face it, yeah, you're good at cards, mate. Or Gandalf. If Gandalf can disappear for 10 days, kill the Balrog, he can definitely do over Dynamo.
So who would win in a fight? A 30 or 40-something-year-old man with Crohn's disease, arthritis, food poisoning, versus 6 Blu-ray discs at your house. That is a toughie.
Who do you think would win out of Raiden and Gandalf?
Right, I'll just put this to bed right now, okay? Gandalf would murk him. He's not even in the discussion. And he would also ruin Dumbledore. Okay? Don't ever mention Dumbledore and Gandalf in the same sentence.
The thing is, Gandalf, like you said before, is a god. Like, he just straight up is. Like, when he dies to the Balrog...
Disappears for 10 days in his greatest illusion ever, yes.
He dies to the Balrog, and then he is just like, yeah, my business isn't done on Middle-earth. I still need to carry out the big quest of destroying the ring. So he's like, yeah, I'm just going to poof myself back into existence. Like,
yeah. You
can't fight against someone who can just poof themselves back into existence after being stabbed.
What about the end of Mortal Kombat 11 where Raiden gives his powers to Liu Kang and he becomes Fire God Liu Kang? Do you think Fire God Liu Kang with Raiden's powers could beat?
No way.
Can't they still die? Can't Raiden still die in Mortal Kombat?
No, the what are they called? The gods? What do they call them?
The Elder Gods.
The Elder Gods. The Elder Gods can't die.
Oh, really? That's really broken.
Because he cuts that one geezer's head off and then he uses it as a
Gandalf would have him.
I don't know if he'd have Fire God.
Straight up, he would. He'd just have him.
Well, what about if he did that bicycle kick where he goes...
Nah, Gandalf, he's having none of that. He'd just be like, no. He'd do that thing, you know, when he told Bilbo off. He just grew really tall. He'd be like, no!
Bilbo Baggins!
What if he did double dash cancel RB?
down towards, strong punch.
No chance. Gandalf is doing all of them, all at the same time. That sounded strange.
With his big wizard staff or whatever the fuck that vibrator is.
What do you think Gandalf's finisher would be?
Should we not be crowning Gandalf as the goat at this point?
No, because it's fucking bollocks.
You are disqualified, my good sir. What? He's not even a magician. I told you, he's an Astari. Hang on, you're actually disqualified, but you're not even gonna summon Gandalf, but you're gonna completely disregard Gandalf and give it to Dynamo.
As much as I loved your whole segment. You're wrong. Dynamo is the GOAT magician.
Do you know what? Can I just say, I know I'm quite heavily down on the scoreboard here. I think the only one I've managed to win was COD. I don't know how.
Because Vinny picked Dark Souls.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, very much.
So I've lost a few of these now, more than anyone, and I am most disappointed at losing Gandalf versus Dynamo. Genuinely.
How?
I don't know, Gandalf's just wicked. His tricks are sick.
They're also fictional.
Well...
Well, so is Dynamo's, right?
Yeah, what is magic?
They're illusions.
That blew my fucking mind. Do you know what, Vinny? Genuinely, when you said that, I looked up into space and went, oh.
Like a caveman seeing a comet for the first time.
Yeah, genuinely.
I just can't believe Gandalf's not going to party with Billy Shears and O.J. Simpson.
Oh, of course he's fucking not. He's a nonce.
He was hanging around a lot of short people, some little people, for a long time.
Exactly.
They're not children, they're like 50.
They are children in some of the films. They use them stunt doubles. Sit on them apples, you fucking pedo.
So yeah, anyway, that was the GOAT magician. Again, that was Dynamo. Sebek has won this round again. I think that makes, is it 3 wins for you now, Sebek?
Yeah, I think it is 3. Is it 3? Which I've got... I can't remember, yeah. I think it's 3.
I thought we weren't counting these up, guys.
We're not counting them up. We're not counting them. You keep picking the
ones that I genuinely believe in. So yeah, very disappointing for me, but that is unfortunately the end of the episode. We will see you guys next week. Keep following us on Instagram. Keep shouting us out. Keep sharing it. We're loving the support. Make sure you email us in all your Telemate challenges as well, and we will read them out at the end of each episode. Next week, boys, we've got our spicy one. We are covering the GOAT viral sensation. I know Vinny has got a very special treat planned for us. He's got an amazing shout. So stay tuned for that, and I think that's it. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, and thank you for getting us to, what's this, 7 episodes? That's fucking insane. I never thought we'd do 7 episodes of this drivel.
Don't worry, there's going to be lots more.
100%. See you at 100, motherfuckers. Bye.
Bye-bye.